Welcome to Elevation Perspective. My name is Mark, joined on this show by Chris, and today we are going to talk about college basketball bets. Now, Chris, I know this is your favorite time of year, possibly the sport you are most passionate about. How excited are you to get things kicked off?
I'm very excited. This is my favorite time of year. As you can see, I'm a Yankee fan, and they got me all the way to college basketball, which is great because that doesn't happen often. And I'm ready to go. I love football, but I'm sick and tired of betting on football, losing money on things I don't know about. So now it's time to get my money back on things I know a lot about.
And we are going to dabble with NBA as well, but today is strictly college as we look to kick things off here. Chris is going to give us 4 picks, 3 that he really likes, and 1 we're going to call the lock of the week. Chris, give us your first play.
My first play, this isn't the play right now, but I'm just gonna say I just checked out the lines again for the first time since yesterday, and for my lock, the line is moving completely towards where we want it to. So I hope you jumped on early because I know I told you yesterday about it. Just hoping. Everyone else, I'm sorry, but you got to get on it earlier. So we're gonna start with the first game of the day. Actually, Charleston against Southern Illinois, and the College of Charleston. They have a new coach. They had a little bit of a dynasty going in the Colonial, which is conference close to us, as we're big Hofstra fans. So we're not the biggest fans of College of Charleston, but they are a great program. They got Chris Mack, who was the Louisville coach and had a great run at Xavier, and Louisville didn't work out too well, but he finally just got back into coaching, and he's taken over. And Charleston's good. They're bringing back the favorite to win the CAA Player of the Year right now, and they're the favorite to win the CAA, actually. So I'm liking them. Southern Illinois is also a team that has a new coach. Coach Nagy, he's from Wright State, and Wright State's been a great program recently. But my thing now with early in the year, which is big to me, if you're going to bet early college basketball in November, which I love to do, you have to remember the transfer portal era is different. You got to take teams early that have played together and know how to play with each other. And Charleston, they're bringing back a good portion of their team last year that won the Colonial and almost won a tournament game. So I really like them.
No, I think that's a really good point, and especially this time of year, like you said, before teams really get to mesh and learn each other how they play together, taking a team that you already know their play style, they're bringing players back. I think that's a really good point. You say Charleston there, you're looking at their money line?
So their spread right now, they're minus 3.5, 105, and their money line is minus 155. I do like them spread. Personally, I have them in a parlay with another team, which we'll get to later, and they're 155 with their money line. And that team that I'm going to tell you later about will add the parlay to around plus 180.
Okay.
Personally, I really like money lines in college because college basketball, you got to remember half the beauty
the free
of
throws.
it. Exactly. Half the beauty of it is it's not professionals playing, and they make more mistakes than anyone. It's kind of like when you and your friends go out playing, only it's more organized. Missed free throws, dumb fouls at the end. So I really try to tread away from the points, but I think I would take them. I would take them minus 3.5. So you could write that down for me.
I like those kind of spreads in both NBA and college where I don't like doing like a -8 or anything higher than that, but I see like -3, -2. At that point, I'm like, you know what? I might as well just take that. It's a little bit
if
better.
If you're going to win, it's going to be with free throws, and usually it comes around that. But yeah, like you said, they make mistakes. They miss free throws. Someone takes a garbage time 3, it goes in.
And we've seen countless bad bets like that too, or bad beats like that, I should say, where it's like, all right, this is a lock. Then you start seeing the missed free throws. The guy hits the Hail Mary 3 for no reason, and just like that, your spread's gone. But I get what you're saying. I do like the early season money lines as well. So the first, we will take Charleston. Anything else you want to touch on about that?
What I will touch on about that is just it's an early game. It's a neutral site. They're playing in South Dakota. You really don't know what team shows up in these games, which is tough. That's why I like going with the experience. These guys have all played together. I know Charleston, they play a very clean brand of basketball. They're going to shoot a ton of threes. They're going to play pretty decent defense, and they're going to come to play. That's what it comes down to. So when I try to make these bets, I try to make bets on a team that if they lose, it won't kill me. I'm like, all right, you know what? Like Charleston's a good program. I bet on them. They lose, they lose. But that's what I'll take there.
You can live with that. You can live with that.
I can live with it. That's the whole thing. Could I live with losing this bet? I could.
And you said an early start time. What time is that Eastern?
12 Eastern tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So while everyone's at work, yeah.
On a Monday.
Eastern.
That's odd.
On a Monday, yep. College basketball's back, baby. Daytime entertainment.
All right, Chris, give us your second pick here.
St. Louis and Santa Clara is going to be a great game. St. Louis has Drake's team. I'll make it my second pick. I like this one better than the later one I was going to do. So let's get into it a little bit more.
Okay.
St. Louis, they're bringing back. They're a whole new team. They got Drake's head coach. Drake famously had now he's on St. Louis. Baby Jokic, Robbie Avila. You've probably seen him on Twitter. He's pretty much plays exactly like Jokic. He's got the big goggles though. So he's great. He's a great player, great college basketball player. And they brought in other kids from Drake too. They got Gibson Jimerson on St. Louis, who he's been in college forever, and I think he's the all-time leading three-point shooter at St. Louis actually. So they're a really good team. But surprisingly enough, they are plus 1.5, and I'm going to go against them. I know I'm hyping them up a little bit, but I'm going to go against them because I really like Santa Clara this year.
Okay.
I liked them last year, and they're in Gonzaga's conference with St. Mary's, so they get overlooked a little bit because it's pretty much impossible to make the tournament in that league. They have a great coach in Herb Stanback. He coached James Harden at Arizona State. He's a really good coach, and they also have an NBA player. They have an NBA player who could have went to the draft last year and came back and didn't only not transfer, he came back and he stayed at Santa Clara.
Mm-hmm.
So, Adama Ball, yeah, they're a team that brings their whole team back. I know St. Louis, they played together at Drake last year, but it's a mix of St. Louis and Drake guys. They're going to take a little time to get going. I know they have aspirations of making the tournament and winning the Atlantic 10, but Santa Clara brings back 3 starters, and they bring back a lot of role players, and they did fill some gaps, so I got Santa Clara. I'm taking them. I'll take them minus 1.5. Just might as well, right?
Okay, yeah, just like that, like we said previously, when you see a spread that close, you might as well just go for that. A little bit better odds. Yeah, you definitely kind of, I don't want to say bury the lead, but you started off hyping up St. Louis. You really quickly.
Because I really like St. Louis. I do really like St. Louis. I think they're going to be good.
That could be a potential future bet then if you like some
kind
of odds.
I definitely will be betting on St. Louis a lot this year. I love Robbie Avila. You would too. I'm sure you've seen his clips on Twitter.
I definitely have seen him before. And another thing you said there that I really like to hear was when you said they have an NBA player. I feel like it's not.
Adama Ball's an NBA player.
It's not concrete. It's not a lock. But I hear that and I'm like, okay. Like I'm much more excited about the prospect of a player that I can be more reliant on. So I totally get that. Anything else here with Santa Clara versus St. Louis?
It's played in the same location as the Charleston games. That's fun. Get 2 games back to back. I think it's at 3 o'clock.
I can watch these games at 12 and 3 o'clock on a work day.
I'm actually on leave from shoulder surgery, so I'll be watching a lot of games.
So you can do it, but how can anyone else do it? Why are they starting these games so early?
Well, that's the best part about these games. It's like in March, you just bet and like you're at work. So if you lose money, you're at work and you're getting paid anyway, right?
That's a great way to rationalize it. I love it. Chris, give us your third play here.
Third play. And just one more thing on the Santa Clara one. It's a very important game because both teams want to make the tournament. And this neutral non-conference game, even though it's played on November 4th, could mean a lot in March. The winner of this game, because both teams are going to be good, it's a big win.
Do they value the strength of schedule that early on?
Yes, 100%. Especially teams like that who are in lower conferences, they need these wins. It's a huge game. Huge game. So time to really feel yourself out in this.
Nice.
All right, we're going to jump to now we're going to go to the game tonight. Not tonight. Monday night at 7 o'clock. So we get a night game, so everyone can watch it. This is a very interesting game. It's Texas A&M, who I really like. I love Texas A&M in the SEC. Buzz Williams is a great coach. That team is just all dogs. If you want to see a team that's just all dogs, a team that you don't mind putting money on because you know they're going to just play hard and they're just going to get every single rebound, kill the glass, Texas A&M's your team. They're going on the road, though. It's a rare road game for an SEC team on opening night. And they're playing at UCF, who's a newly Big 12 team. Last year was their first year. They weren't great, but they did get some big home wins, and it was a tough place to play. And they're returning 2 of their better players, Jalen Sellers and J.J. Taylor, do have a lot of new transfers coming in. But the big issue with me with these transfers are 4 of them are guys who've been kicked out of their old schools.
Oh, kicked out?
Yeah, kicked out of their old schools.
Is there a story there? A brief story?
Well, they're not all the same schools. I mean, one of them you've probably heard of, Mikey Williams. He was like an Instagram famous freshman.
Was he stealing the laptop?
He didn't steal a laptop. It was something with I don't know what it was exactly. He got kicked out of Memphis last year, but he was a top recruit. And he was like an Instagram famous kid. Like you go to his Instagram, you'll know who he is. Like he was the same class as Bronny. He was in California. But yeah, he got arrested and he got kicked out of Memphis. Benny Williams got kicked out of Syracuse. He's a big.
So they all just came to this one team?
Yeah, they all came to this team. I mean, their coach is on the hot seat, so he tried. These guys are talented players. They're very talented players. Dior Johnson and Mikey Williams were both top 20 recruits. And to get to USF as a top 20 recruit, it's not really often. It doesn't happen often. But they are led by Darius Johnson. He's their best player, and Jalen Sellers. But I like their home. It's a 4.5-point spread. It was when I bet it. Let me check it now. Yeah, it's still 4.5 points. 190 on the money line. I don't know, man. They have talent, and they're home, but I can't see them being connected enough to beat this Texas A&M team yet. Texas A&M's also they're ranked 13th. Like they're supposed to be really good because they are going to be really good. I really like them. And I think that line is a little too low. I think Texas A&M's a lot better than them. And I think having these troubled guys come in, they're really not going to throw together a great team yet, maybe later in the year. I'll take that spread. I really think they're probably going to cover that.
So Texas A&M minus 4.5 is the spread you're looking at
Texas
right now?
Texas A&M minus 4.5, I'm taking.
To recap so far, Dell has chosen Charleston money line, Santa Clara money line, Texas A&M minus 4.5 spread at time of recording. All that's left now is the lock of the week. Dell, give us your lock of the week.
All right, so ironically enough, I mean, the lock of the week, it's crazy because it's opening night and it's the best game of the night by far. This one's at 11:30 at night. So I'm got you from 12 p.m. to 11:30 at night. This one is in, I was thinking of playing in Spokane. It's either Spokane or Seattle. Gonzaga over Baylor. Now, Gonzaga, I am really high on Gonzaga. And this is ironic because Gonzaga killed me last year. I had so much in their futures, and they didn't win. St. Mary's beat them. Then I rolled to Vegas. Me and Carlos went to Vegas. I was going to throw guap on them to win their conference championship against St. Mary's. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get my payback right here. They lost again. But they are bringing back their whole team. Pretty much. They're losing some role players, but they're bringing back everyone who matters on their team, and they added 2 new players that are huge for them. And get this, Mark Few, in the first round of the NCAA tournament, they always say never bet against Mark Few. You give him a week to prepare, he's always going to win. And we're giving him a whole year to prepare. I like Baylor too, but like I was saying before, the public is scaring me a little bit because everyone's hammering Gonzaga. To give you a good information on that, I got Gonzaga 2 days ago at minus 150. They're now minus 200.
It's always
They're
scary.
Really good, man.
It's always scary when you see the public move a number like that. But good for you. I
don't like that, but I've been on them for a while, and like last year, their problem, in my opinion, I know a lot of people will disagree because everyone just thinks differently when they watch. They didn't have enough guards that could score.
Okay.
I know everyone loves their guards. Everyone loves Hickman. Everyone loves Nemhard, but they're both really good, but they're not scorers. They're not like just straight bucket getters, and that was my problem when they were playing St. Mary's because St. Mary's was a really tough defense, like a group defense. They didn't have a guy who was going to go out there and get you buckets. This year they added Khalif Battle, who started at Temple, went to Arkansas. They had some trouble at Arkansas, and now is on Gonzaga, and he is strictly a bucket getter. And him in with Gonzaga's system is going to be awesome. I think it's going to work out perfectly. And they also added Michael Ajayi, who he played for Pepperdine, and he was one of the best players in Gonzaga's conference, and now they added him. And then they're also bringing back Graham Ike, who's amazing, great big. They have a really good team. But Baylor's really good too, and Baylor has a great coach, Scott Drew. But they're a new team. Oh, ESPN has Baylor winning? Okay. All right, I like this.
You like to see that, like I was saying with betting the public. You never like to see when everyone's on your side and the money's moving. It's always kind of a pit in your stomach feeling where, what do they know that I don't know, or vice versa? Like, I don't really want everyone agreeing with me in this scenario, so it's tough.
No, and it's at Spokane Arena. Baylor got Omir from Miami. Baylor's got a really good team. They have a really good team, but give me Gonzaga, man.
And I will also just touch on really quickly a general, make money tip there. What you said, how Gonzaga lost you so much money last year. I know I have been a victim of this, and so have you. So has everyone who's ever bet. Like, you put teams on your do not bet list. You get stubborn. I don't want to do this anymore. I do it all the time with baseball teams. I think off the top of my head, the Seattle Mariners, every game, they never score runs. I'm like, I'm just not doing this anymore. But I think it's really nice that you even touched on that first. You start off with, this is surprising because they lost me so much money last year, but this is a different team, and I'm back in.
So my bets personally, I put Gonzaga and Charleston in a parlay together. and I put 54 on that, and that was to win 100. So I got a plus 186. It's probably a little lower now, but that's what I did. Then I took Santa Clara, Texas A&M, and Texas. This was a lotto ticket, $25 to win. It was plus 358. First week betting. I obviously want to sound like I know exactly what I'm talking about from the off season, but cat's out of the bag. You have no idea what team's going to be good or not. I can go 4 right now, but guess what? I'm going to get to the board, watch some film, and I'll be back. But
It's all about the long game. We're going to keep records here on the channel.
We're going to keep records. Another just gambling advice I'm going to give to people who are still listening. I know it's probably not that many people right now, but college basketball is not a sport where you throw in, especially the first week. I know a lot of times you want to put in a Gonzaga minus 200, and you're like, oh, let me put in this minus 1,000 just to make the odds a little bit better. Do not do that. Don't do that, because every day there's going to be a Cleveland State beating Michigan, for example, and you don't want to be on that end, man. Last year was JMU going to Michigan State and winning. There's no predicting the first week, man. Go with experience. Bet teams that are experienced. Stay away from the transfer portal teams early, and that's it.
I think those are really good, helpful tips. Like you said, you could go in 4 here, but we're playing the long game here. In a situation like this as well, I know for a fact you do really well in live betting. So potentially once we build a following of people, after we keep putting in the work and putting in these views, and hopefully successful picks come, we make money all together, we get a nice following, you can put live bets out there, which, like I said, just keeps bringing in the money. So that's super exciting. That's going to do it for us. Hopefully everyone enjoyed. Hopefully everyone is ready to make some money. Have a great day, and thank you for watching.
Yes, sir.